In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Unite your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, your reputation grows. Let's go once more. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, if your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Unite your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, your reputation grows. Let's go once more. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, if your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Unite your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, your reputation grows. Let's go once more. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, if your reputation grows. In a world where trust is hard to find, Solana ID brings you peace of mind. Your digital life secure and free, a place where privacy meets integrity. In a world where shadows used to reign, Solana ID brings clarity again. Unite your digital self in control, the privacy that you were on a roll. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, your reputation grows. Let's go once more. With Solana ID, you are in control. From the blockchain to the web, we know. No more secret, no more lies. With your soul ID, if your reputation grows.
Welcome to Solid Talk and today's 76th edition of the show on a very special day because it is Valentine's Day. And I don't know if you are single or not, and I don't really care because we're here together to celebrate survival because it is a tough time. And I think this is the time when the community needs to get together and we need strong core communities because, ladies and gents, we're all going to eat well at some point, but we can only go through it together. And I think this place, the weekly Solid Talk, should be your safe space where you can tune in and you know you're going to get out of it with a positive feeling about the future as well. Not just the future of Solana, but also the future of the broader ecosystem. Because the world is in despair, let's be honest. I think the best way to deal with all of this right now is a little bit of comedy and entertainment. So let's not be too serious about it. And let's look at the markets. Let's look at the environment we're in right now and see what can we do in our small circle of responsibilities that we can actually make our life worth living and enjoying as well. That's what we've been doing for more than 76 weeks. Every single week we get together here. If you're new to Solid Talk, then welcome to the view behind the curtain, because you will be able to get a good understanding of what's happening at Solana ID, but also what's happening in Solana in the broader context. And as every week, I'm not alone here. I'm always joined by my co-host and co-founder for the weekly live shows. Pierre's with me today. Welcome to Solid Talk number 76, Pierre. You're not single and lonely. We know that, but still, it's a good place to get together with the community and just have a good time. How are you today?
I am pretty fine, and I'm not sure, Simon, if you should change your settings back to how it was before, because for me you're pretty laggy, but it might just be me, so I'm not sure. I just changed my settings back to just 1080p. Maybe you need to do that also in your camera settings.
I am on 1080p. So my camera resolution, yeah, it should be 1080. I've connected my iPhone. So Solidians out there, let us know if you can hear us well, if you can see us well. Because we're gonna be here for a while now, just vibing together and chit-chatting and looking at the markets and showing up. So if you're with us right now, just give us a quick check-in, say GM in the chat box, tell us that you're here. We already got a few people who just joined us here. Alden says, hey guys, greetings as every single week. He's with us. Cyber Brother, happy Valentine's to you as well, my friend. GM Foodle, my friend, thanks for showing up every single week with us. Listen, Lyon is here. Pierre 964 is with us as well. Noble, of course, it is solid time. It is that time of the week. You know it, brother. Jacqueline Ann is with us, says GM as well, GM to the show. And yeah, thanks for pulling up. We do have a very strong core of people always showing up here. And I hope that's, I think that is a good sign, because right now, you know, it's a bit more quiet. People are taking, you know, people are leaving. People are leaving the ecosystem, not only community members, but also it's kind of a theme right now, where we see Solana Foundation people leaving, we see investors in the space leaving and pursuing elsewhere their goals, for example, in AI. And I think it is the opportunity now that we can chase to position ourselves correctly in this, because when the bull market returns, you need to be positioned correctly, not only with your portfolio, but also with whatever you're doing. And I think it is a good time to have some alpha on everything. I think Solana used to be very down, much more than what we are right now. We've seen worse environments, and I think that's sometimes something worth remembering. There has been a time when Solana was really declared dead, right? After FTX, everyone thought it's over, and core contributors and core protocols just left the space, but they paid the price for it, because we came back much stronger than before. And even if you can't see it right now, even if you can't believe it right now, I am 100% certain that this ecosystem is going to return much stronger than ever in a new shape and form, because Solana is just a little bit different these days. And what's missing, in my opinion, in Solana is the community strength, because that's what we're known for. That's what made Solana really. The early hacker houses, the early streams, the early Twitter spaces, this kind of Wall Street bets feeling of being in this exclusive circle of people against the rest of the world, and just surviving and grinding in it. And I think that's a feeling that I want to maintain or even strengthen, even in the bear. And the best place to do that is on Twitter. It is on live streams. It is with whatever brand you have. And if that's your personal brand, then please just show up and be around. But if you're right now listening to this, then actually you don't have to hear this. You need to take that message and give it to the people that already kind of locked off in the past couple of weeks because of the market environment. I think Nolan says never leaving. I think it is like I said, it is kind of a recurring theme on Solana that whenever market is down, people are scared, but then when the market is back, everyone felt like they're the FOMO is returning and they're like, shit, why did I ever leave this? I don't want you to get that feeling. So take this advice from me and stick around and stay with us and see where you can, in this market right now, add value to the ecosystem. And it is easier than ever to add value to things. And I think the most important thing you can do right now is to just stay up to speed, right? Stay informed, be on Twitter, see what's happening, go to the live spaces and build this group of people around you that can all happen online. You don't need to, that's the beauty of it. You don't need to be anywhere physical. It can all happen online where you can build your trusted group of Solidians that will fight alongside you into the bull market, and then we're gonna eat well again. So that is, at least that's how I function. And that's the light at the end of the tunnel that I always see. And this helps to survive. I think one thing that is very positive is that while people are leaving, new people are also joining, right? And especially Solana Foundation is an example of that. I think right now there's a bit of a reshuffling going on inside Foundation. So we have people like Akshay, pulling out, but then you have Vibhu who came in, and he's kind of new to Foundation still. Now he's been here for a few months, but I think single-handedly he really brings back the vibes to Solana. And he took over the marketing department, and I think it's working really well with strong and bold moves that he's pushing for, which works right now, right? In the internet right now, if you want to shine through, you have to be bold and do bold moves, and it will be edgy, and some people might not like it. But I think that's the best way to get the attention that you need, especially in the bear market. So I'm really grateful that we have great people like Vibhu who joined the foundation. And I'm also very blessed by being able to speak to other people that are new to Solana. And I had an interview as well with the new digital product head. Her name's Catherine, and she was on the podcast on Sol Brothers. And I talked to her as well. And these people are crazy. They have crazy background. They went through fucking Stanford, Cambridge. They ended up at some corporate companies. She worked 5 years at Visa. She did so much shit, but for some reason she was like, I think Solana is the place where I want to, proceed with my career. And that is the most bullish signal you can get. If people that are smarter than yourself, or at least they're smarter than myself, I don't know about you, but if people that are smarter than myself joining this mission, for me, this is a very strong signal that we're good, we're good, because I trust the decisions that these people make as well. So I'm really happy to see that. And she's not the only one. There's also Elizabeth. Huge shout out to Laguna on Twitter, the new head of ecosystem for Solana, another super smart lady that came in and is going to push the ecosystem forward. I think the next couple of months will be extremely exciting with the new talent we have on this protocol. And we have also huge themes that, if they play out, will bring so much attention to this blockchain. And it's not only agentic commerce or DeFi, where we already kind of won trading in DeFi and the everything chain. It's also simple use cases like payments, because I think Solana already won in payments and stablecoins, and we're still less than 10% there of the potential where we can be in the world. And that's another thing that will be hugely beneficial for the whole ecosystem. So seeing these things will keep you here, I'm telling you. So that's why you need to immerse yourself in positive news in this market, because it will open your eyes and show you what's real. In markets like this, I'm always seeking truth, and that's a very difficult endeavor because you never know what's really true. But if you look at the data and if you look at the world, how it looks like, I think truth is that Solana is probably the best blockchain right now in terms of positioning to capture market share in the world. It is what it is, right? So bet on Solana is always, it's going to play out well. That's at least my opinion. Even though the markets might disagree because they look a little bit different. So what we're going to do today is we're going to definitely look at the markets, we're going to look at the prices, see what's happening there on the Solana and Bitcoin chart, and where we might head next. Past days have been better, so let's see if that trend can continue. And we're going to talk a little bit about what happened the last week, what Pierre's been up to, what I've been up to, and what we tinkered on, and we give our takes on these things. and just vibing with the community. As always, it is not just a place to listen to us yapping, but it is also a place to yep with us, if that makes sense. So please be active in the community chat. Do comment yourself solid, because that is the recurring theme that is going through the Solid Talks these days. I want you to be active, so please do engage in the chat. Let us know that you're here, but also let us know your opinions, your takes, your feelings. How do you feel in this market? What keeps you awake right now? What keeps you on Solana? Just be there, and we're going to interact with you as well. And if you are very active in the chat, then you might comment yourself solid and receive a reward at the end of today's stream, because this is how it works. The more you're active in the chat, we will pick one winner from the overall chat here in our live stream that has been standing out in terms of activity, and that winner will receive some solid at the end of the live stream as part of the comment yourself solid agenda that we have been doing now since a few weeks, and I like it. I think it's a good format. It's a bit more interactive than the past giveaway, but also let us know what you guys think when it comes to this. So, Pierre, what keeps you awake these days? What have you been tinkering on in the past days? What's your general take on the times we live in? Because I think so much is happening right now. Where's your mind at?
My mind is fully occupied with AI.
Yeah,
everything AI related. I would
probably
say
a good idea right now. And why do you think that's a good idea? What's the strategy here?
I was listening to a podcast the other day from Lex Friedman when he was talking to Peter Steinberger. And I'm not sure if you heard the conversation, but he actually got big offers from OpenAI and Meta. They want to acquire OpenClaw and turn it into a user product. And he's like 50-50 about it, because he actually has a lot of costs going on right now. 10 to 20K is what he's burning per month out of his own pocket to keep the infrastructure and everything alive, because it's open source, it's free to use, right?
It's insane, actually.
And they were saying that what happened with OpenClaw is something that did not happen in the last 10 to 15, 20 years, maybe since the internet became mainstream. So this is the tipping point, right? We see now that this is a new technology that has never existed before. And I'm not saying everyone should get OpenClaw, but everyone should at least figure out how to use AI for their own lives. Because if you don't do it right now, you will be left behind in a few years. Not a few years, in a few months already.
Yeah, this year. The space is moving so fast. It's ridiculous. I think in terms of positioning, the biggest advantage you can have right now is be in that space, because you're still at the frontier, even if you don't think so. Because in our little bubble, it seems like everyone is tinkering, right? But there's a whole world around you guys. You know that. Like they didn't get it yet, and we talked about it here. We talked about it the other day. Maybe we can talk about that story a little bit. Just at the example of your brother, who's like, he's a professional as well. He has his own business. It's not like he's living under a rock. I mean, mostly. But he definitely
lives on a remote island. So I would say it's almost the same.
Similar. But I think he classifies very perfectly as this, normal person. Does his daily business. He's running hotels, on the island, and he's like, he's internet native as well. He's a bit older than us, so he grew up in our age. So he has all the social media accounts. He uses internet every day. He uses apps every day. He's fully immersed, right, in this world. He's not like a 70-year-old that's completely, like my grandpa doesn't even know what an iPhone is. But like these people aside, like let's talk about the people that are actually already digitized, right? And they know what the fuck is happening in the world to an extent.
Yeah.
But even them are extremely out of the loop. Like when you showed him a little bit of the things you did with AI right now, what was his reaction?
Yeah, it blew his mind. He literally thought he was using AI for his life already. But when he says, or his friends say, they use AI, what they do is they use ChatGPT to ask some questions instead of using Google. That's it. That's höchste der Gefühle is what we would say in German.
Yeah. And then he saw what you're tinkering on, and what did he think about that?
He literally said, "Fuck, I'm going to be a truck driver."
Exactly.
But maybe even that can be replaced by AI with autonomous driving.
Autonomous driving, AI-enabled autonomous driving. We don't need truck drivers anywhere. Like, that's the thing. Like, I also talked about it a lot with friends of mine, and like, everyone is thinking, okay, they take, like, the bots are taking our jobs and shit. But then, just think back in the history. There's always been a new technology that just changes the world. But the world is, like, our world is driven by humans, right? Like, we're in it, and you can't replace us, because then we're all dead. So until we all die and the world is empty of humans, there's going to be a place for us. Now the question is, how does the next era of humanity position themselves, right? I don't think that AI is not going to take your jobs, but it's going to change significantly how we interact with the world. The same happened when we replaced handwriting with the printing press. Like, I'm pretty sure that back then people were like, what the fuck? Like, now we don't need to write on letters anymore. We have this printing machine, and it's going to print everything. What are all the writers going to do? Well, they found a new calling. They didn't disappear. Like, they just repositioned themselves. Either they were smart enough to be at the frontier of the new technology, or they got recycled into a new economy and found a new job that still requires humans. So I think we'll still there's obviously going to be a place for the humans, but it is such a huge opportunity right now to capture kind of mind share and market share of this new emerging kind of technology. But it only works if you understand how to use it. And I think there's, like, a few things you can do wrong as well, and especially in the context of businesses. I think if you're a small team, you have to use AI these days, right? If you're a mid company, like if you're already a bit bigger, I don't think you should tell every employee that you have in your company to spin up their own OpenClaw and start tinkering with it, because guess what's happening then? They're all gonna be fucking, thrown in that rabbit hole, and they're gonna stop what they're doing, which is company business. Right? That's also not a solution. So if you're a mid-sized company, what's actually super smart, in my opinion, is get one guy in your company that's automating using AI, like a head of vibe coding. Get this guy in your company and make him automate the personal workflows of all your people in your company. So have him interview your employees and be like, what do you do on a daily basis? And then he'll figure out what you can replace for your personal workflows. He doesn't need to build a new app for everyone. He's just going to build small AI workflows that will make your life easier, so you can work on a 10x output. And that's not even exaggerated. I think every single employee can work on a 10x output if the workflows are automated smartly. If you automate these workflows, if you let them automate themselves, it's just a huge rabbit hole, right? If you're a small company, if you're smart, like a solo entrepreneur or two people like us with like a small team around them, figure it out yourself. Like, then jump in the rabbit hole and build your own shit. But I think another mistake that I see right now in the world is that these 20, 30, 40, 50 people teams are all starting on their own to use OpenClaw and set all that shit up, and they have no idea what they're doing. And then company business kind of stalls because everyone is fucking around with AI. That's not the point. That is really not the point. Like, you need to make sure that it's very targeted and that you're optimizing your own fucking workflows or get them optimized for you. But yeah, that's a huge shift that's going on right now. And we've been, when I ask Pierre what he's up to and he says it's AI, it's for a reason, because we see a lot of opportunity there to kind of 10x the output that we're bringing into this world with all sorts of products, right? When it comes to Solana ID, we already figured out a way to spin up features and products 10x, 50x probably in time-wise compared to before. So I think 2-3 weeks ago, Pierre, we started to talk a little bit about creating an agentic dev team that's just gonna operate Solana ID backend and front end and spin up products and so on. And I wanted to take the moment today as well in this stream to just give an update on that and see what I've been setting up so far and kind of run people through it, because I think everyone in here is interested in how to utilize AI properly, and I can show you how a founder is doing it myself, and how we are going to output 10x the amount of products and features in the next couple of months with the power of AI, because we're agentizing our employees, basically, right? And this frees up the time of my employees, of the people that work with us, for new creative tasks that they can actually spend their valuable human brain on. So yeah, we talked about this a little bit. I talked about the flywheel setup, right, Pierre, and how that works. And I think I can give a little update on what I've been tinkering on. And I built a first sandbox project with it for Solana ID, and I want to just show it to people. It's not a great use case. I need you guys to tell me what we can do with it now, but it's an experiment for me to just operate the agent flywheel so I can understand how it works properly, and then ship features that are actually super useful. So yeah, why don't we do that? I think as a first segment. So let me share my screen, and I'll tell you what I've been up to. Do you see my screen?
No, not yet. Yeah, now I see it.
Awesome. So basically, in a nutshell, what I did in the background is I've set up a system that is on a remote server. So it's not on my device. It's on a VPS. So a VPS is just a basically external computer that you rent in a data center that runs 24/7 without any interruptions. Where you can technically let agents work 24/7. Right now, I don't have agents running 24/7, but I want to get to that stage, because then they can just fucking ship endlessly, which is insane. And the last stage when I showed this to the people here was me just setting it up. So I just had the setup done, and that was it. Now, today, I have a fully functional control center, and I'm going to let you know what that really does. And I also run a first experiment in a sandbox environment on the flywheel, where 3 agents already worked alongside each other and created a product. So how do I, as a technical founder but not a dev, is utilizing this now? So what the Flywheel Control Center really is just a view into the VPS that I built for myself. That's not part of the official system, but I built it for myself to have a bit of an update on, okay, what's happening actually with my agents? What are they working on? What are they doing? And how's the system looking like right now? So right now there's no task running, so my agents are idle. They're not working on anything. So right now nothing of the actual CPU is being used, because my agents are idle. But they are there. They're basically on the sideline, and I can activate them. Once they start working on something, I will see which agents are spun up. So for example, in my new sandbox project that I started, I spawned 3 agents that worked on it. One was, I think one was doing API-related work, the other one was building front end, and the other one was tinkering on the back end. This way, they were actually able to build a full product in 10 minutes, which is ridiculous. Now, that is one piece to the thing. The second piece to the thing is to engage with the flywheel. I would have to open my terminal, and I would have to use commands, Linux commands, to interact with the flywheel, spawn agents, run commands, and so on. So I'd have to study Linux basics. I'd have to understand commands and so on. I don't have time for that shit. That's not the goal when I'm doing it. I want to have a fully text-to-code tool where I can just, give specs, tell what I want to do, and then the flywheel is going to build it. So I was missing this middle piece of, okay, I needed someone to operate the flywheel without me operating it. So my logical conclusion was, okay, I need an operator. So that operator is its own Claude instance. So it's a Claude Code instance on my Mac, on my machine, that is basically remotely logging into the VPS, into the flywheel. So I never have to open the flywheel terminal and talk to it. I only have to talk to my operator, and he will talk to the flywheel. So actually, these agents were spawned by him, by the operator. And the commands to do something were given by the operator to the agents. So he's managing everything for me. He's kind of my head of engineering, right, in the old world that I talk to kind of tell him, hey, this is the feature that I want to build. What do you think about it? Do you think this is feasible? Yes, it's feasible. Okay, cool. This is the specifications I would need for that feature. Can you please, build a first MVP? Yes, sure. I'll build it together with my team. And then the head of engineering goes to the team and delegates tasks and runs, right? It's exactly what the operator is doing, with the only difference that he's not a human. He's an agent. So now I have the operator terminal as well inside of my flywheel. So I don't even have to open, like this is actually very UX friendly. I don't even have to open Claude Code on my MacBook ever. Like I only have to click a command, and that command will start the flywheel. It will start a Claude session, and it will open this page here for me. And then I can use my browser window to talk to my operator in the flywheel. Of course, it looks technical because it is technical. Sure, I could make this into a kind of WhatsApp-looking front end to be like super convenient, but I don't need that. I'm technical enough to operate a terminal inside of my browser. But in here, I can talk in human language, right? So I can talk to my operator and basically tell him to build something for Solana ID. The cool thing is, and this is where it becomes extremely interesting, is that both the operator and the agents are fully aware of Solana ID. They know what we're building. They know the whole code base we have already. They have access to all our APIs. They can create new API keys. They can, revoke API key. They can do everything for me because they have full access to the whole system. So once I give any specification to my operator, he'll figure it out. Like I don't need to give him anything else. Like he's literally going to pull the backend code. He's going to understand the scoring that we have. He's going to understand the business logic behind it because it's all in the code already. So if you have an existing code base already, this is actually a super dope setup, because as a technical founder without knowledge about your code base, because it has been built by devs, this will allow you to basically interact with your code and build on top of it in a way that you've never been able to do this before, if that makes sense. So far, so good, Pierre? You following me?
Yes, sir. Sounds good. Just one question. What browser are you using? It looks a bit weird. Is it Safari?
It's just a Safari window, yeah.
Ah.
It doesn't matter for this. Like I can, yeah. So because on my Mac, I have Safari as my default browser. Once I launch the flywheel, it's a command. It's an automation command. It's a script. Once I launch it, it will just open a new window or a new tab. And since Safari is my main browser, it's going to open in Safari. I could probably tell it to do it in Chrome, but it doesn't really matter. Now, when I'm in here, as I said, I can give the specs and I can tell it to build something, and I did that. So what I did as an experiment, I wanted to build a solid score explorer. So basically a tool where I can plug in any Solana address on Solana blockchain, and I will get an identity check from it. So I'll see the solid score, and I'll see the badges, and I see the categories and how that wallet ranks. So it's kind of it's a score explorer, really, what it is. So that's what I wanted to build. Again, it took me personally as a human probably half an hour to understand how the system works and to kind of give the specifications to the machine. And that's already a long time because I had to work myself into this workflow because it's new for me, right? So 30 minutes was already long for me. So 30 minutes of my human time. And then it took another, let's say, 15 minutes back and forth for the agents to build it and get back to me with the first MVP. Now, let's take a look at what the guys built. So after the 3 agents were spawned and they built something, they showed me this front end where they basically tinkered on the Solid Score Explorer, which is now hosted locally on my machine here. So it's not publicly available yet, but I can plug in every Solana address here that's available on the Solana blockchain, and it will basically fetch the score data. So I can plug in any Addy, and it will give me an idea. Okay, this Addy here is a tier 2 wallet. It is up to date. It also owns Solana ID, so it's a Solana ID user. And this is live data now that it just pulled from the API. It gives me a nice breakdown about my activity, so I can see, okay, it has a very strong general activity. It does a lot of liquidity provisioning, token holdings and so on. So this is the data that's behind the Solid Score that you're gonna get an access to here. And then since I didn't, this is just MVP, right? I didn't do any front end work here. I didn't, I didn't tell it to, fetch the badge data and so on. He just built it himself. That's it. So now I can also see what kind of badges did this wallet earn so far already. And now as a next step, I could, for example, with one command, tell the operator to spawn an agent or to activate one of the agents to fetch the actual badge images, right, that are hosted somewhere. I have no idea where they are and shit, but if I tell it to the operator, I think after 5 minutes, I'll probably be able to replace the badges here with the actual badge images, which would be something I could do very easily. But yeah, this is the product. Yeah.
Is there more?
What else would we put on the dashboard?
We can below the The badges. That's it. Badges
No,
is the last part, right?
Yes. So it gives you scores. It gives you a score breakdown in brackets and categories, and it gives you badges. Right? That's the Solid Score Explorer. That's basically what it is.
That's actually super dope. I like the product because that's something I always wanted to have. So don't throw it in the bin. Just let us think about it actually, because we can use this for marketing stuff really, really well. Because if people are hesitant to first of all connect the wallet to our platform, if they don't know who we are yet, which happens a lot of times, right? Especially nowadays, where like every other week another protocol posts on Twitter, "Oh, we're sorry, we have to shut down our operations because we got hacked 3 times. And by the way, all your funds are gone. Goodbye." You're getting more and more hesitant. I mean, it happens.
It happens still, unfortunately.
So it's very good that this is basically working. If you just put in a wallet address, you don't need to connect. That's really good. Would be even cooler to see what happens if you bundle multiple wallets, similar to like a profile thingy.
Yeah,
exactly. Just add more wallets without actually connecting them.
Yeah.
And then you get a preview of what your Solana ID account would look like if you now mint your ID. Because what's missing right now is, what do I get from all of this data now? Like, what perks are actually waiting for me based on my score and stuff? So if we can add this and then make the front end a little bit nicer, match our CI and everything, don't overcomplicate it, make it also nice to use on mobile, then this is perfect. We can actually use it.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, if you consider the amount of effort it took me to build this MVP is ridiculously low, right? And I didn't even try, right? I didn't even try to make this useful. Now, let's suppose now we're trying to make it useful. And in my workflow, what I would do now is I'd go to my Claude desktop and I would give him a voice prompt. I'd just ramble for like 5 minutes and be like, look, I need a new spec document for my operator to add features to the Sandbox project, to the Solid Score Explorer. These are the features I'm envisioning. I'd like to have badges that are replaced with the actual badge images. They are somewhere in the code, just find them. Then I also want to add our logo somewhere, so we need to get a little bit closer to our branding. So how about implementing Solana ID logo here somewhere? Just add it to the page. You find it in our wherever. You have it. You find it. Third time, I'd like to create. I'd like to have a functionality where I can add wallets to the profile. So you plug in the workflow, the user flow is like this. You open the page, you plug in one wallet, you click explore, it shows you the data, and then there's a button where it says add wallet. You click on it, and it opens a modal where you can just pass an ID. You click on add, and it will add it to the profile, and you'll get a visual confirmation that you have another pub key added to it. And then it will fetch the updated score data, badge data, and category data of both of these wallets together. So let's build out that feature where you can add up to, let's say, 5 wallets without any, or let's say you can add up to 3 wallets. After this, you have to mint the Solana ID. And then the last feature I'd like to have is I'd like you to pull at least one perk from the Solana ID backend that this wallet profile would be eligible for based on the business logic, and add it as well. What I just said here in the live stream would be exactly what I would voice command into my Claude desktop. And 2 minutes later, I would get a spec document back from my Claude desktop that I would copy and paste into the operator and just click enter. Then I would fuck off and drink a coffee. Then I would return to my MacBook and I would have an updated Solid Score Explorer with all these features in a V1. Then I would check what is not working, what is misplaced, is there any errors, and I would give feedback to the operator and he would optimize the page for me. So it's extremely easy UX for anyone to add features to these kind of products. And then we could put it on a public, domain and have it as a product, and it's live. It's the work of in total 1 hour, 2 hours, and we've built a completely new feature, and then we can do some marketing around it, and we can, post something on Twitter and be like, hey, check your Solid Score for free, add up to 3 wallets, check your eligibility for perks, post the link. Post it, and then there would be a prompt on the front end as well. It's the last feature I forgot earlier, which would basically tell people to go to app.solana.id and mint their Solana ID and actually, set up their profile properly. So that's something that you can build. Again, this is a sandbox kind of experiment project that is useful already. It's not a banger, I think, but it gives you an idea of what's possible, really, right? With this kind of setup. So now we can be much more nimble with community requests when people are like, hey, I would like to have that feature, and hey, I'd like to add this to the hub, and hey, I'd like to build out this little project. I can build it for you guys. I don't need to wait for anyone. I can just do it on my own terms, in my own time, and I can have my agents tinker on it. If it's a larger product, I can just do it overnight and let the agents just figure it out themselves. And when I wake up, I have a ready product. Right? So I think this is like a huge unlock, and it opens a whole new era for software development. I see really, really smart developers pivoting to this, right? And even though they can code themselves very well, they will pivot into an operator role where they will have their own agents tinkering for them. I think it's just going to increase the output of software in a ridiculous fashion. That's just something to be aware of. But yeah, so that's the Solid Score Explorer. We can keep tinkering on it. If you guys have any ideas and features and additional requests that we could add to this, just let me know. It is just a few prompts away for me to test it out and implement it into the whole workflow myself. Yeah, so that's the flywheel. Now you've been tinkering as well yourself in a different setup. I think you started with OpenClaw a little bit. What are some of your key takeaways from your OpenClaw experiments that you've been running?
It was very exciting in the beginning when everything worked fine.
Yeah.
But then somehow, after a few days, I ran into a problem which was causing basically my session limits from Anthropic.
Yeah.
After 3 messages, they were just hit. And then I had to wait for like hours to write 3 more messages. So either something in my setup was broken, I don't know, but I didn't change anything. It was literally from one day to the other. And then I did some research and I figured out that it might be that Anthropic is somehow able to see where the requests are coming from. And if they know it's coming from OpenClaw projects, they will somehow, rate limit you or something. And you're even running into the risk of getting banned permanently from your account because they don't want you to do it. They want you to use their official APIs, which are just much more expensive because you pay basically per query or per million tokens, and it's super expensive compared if you just use your Pro or Max subscription. So I was a bit frustrated about that. I didn't really know what else I could do. I started playing around with OpenRouter and just used Kimi K2.5 from Moonshot AI, but it was not as good as Opus. There's just nothing as good as Opus right now. So once you're used to Opus level, brain and intelligence and also wittiness, and you talk to another AI, you just feel like 10 levels downgraded. And then also every message via OpenRouter now costs money, right? It's just a couple of cents, but it adds up. So even that would probably cost, I don't know, let's say another $100 every month, which is still cheaper compared to the API costs of Anthropic. But right now, I haven't completely find a new way how to use it without running into too much costs again on top of the AI costs we already have. I was playing around a couple of days ago with a free setup. There's some AI models that you can use for free, but obviously you're hitting limits fast, and it actually is super slow. So I was using something from Zap AI, I think GLM or something, via OpenRouter. There's a free model. And then every message had a delay of like, I don't know, a minute or something. I was texting and a minute later I got my answer. And then at some point I was trying to run config settings because there seemed something was broken with the gateway. And then my OpenClaw running on this cheap, free, stupid model changed some config settings, and since then it's just broken. It just killed himself, basically.
Yeah, so it sounds like you need a new setup. I think that's what I told you as well, like a clean slate, new kind of config from zero with all your learnings, basically. Yeah, that's a good question. Like, what you said is.
That is a good question because I don't have enough power on the machine. It's 8 GB Windows. It's not a lot. And if you want to run local models, you need bigger, what is it, CPU or GPU?
Yeah, I think CPU and RAM as well, no? Probably.
Yeah. Isn't it the same?
It's not the same. But if you, like, I think if you would, run it on a very good gaming computer or Mac Studio, like, which is very expensive, then you can do that shit yourself. But again, you just need to invest in the hardware there, right? So there's definitely a place for that. But in this experimentation phase, this would be overkill. So you want to optimize for costs. And I think that's also a big, like right now I'm in the status where I'm looking, what are people doing? What are mistakes people doing, right? And I think another mistake that people are doing is not optimizing for token usage. Like, I think you should actually be very aware of building a setup with your OpenClaw, for example, that is optimized for token usage, because there's ways to consume less tokens and create the same output, but you have to, set the system up in that way. And for this, you need a bit more setup time, and you need to build something. You need to challenge your Claude and be like, hey, guy, thanks for setting this up, and we have this workflows now. How can we make these workflows more efficient, more token efficient? And then he will come up with ideas, and you have to really scrutinize that until you have a setup that is optimized for usage, because otherwise it's going to be tough.
I think that is very true. I mean, I watched this video from Alex Finn a while ago when I was like deep into the OpenClaw stuff, and he recommended setting up different models for different tasks, like using Codex for coding, using Opus only as the main brain, and then using different models for different tasks. For example, the heartbeat that OpenClaw sends based on the frequency that you set always uses the main model also. Costs a couple of tokens every time. But the thing is, I actually did that. I did exactly what he said. I tried to configure him the same way he did to use different models for different tasks. Then I gave him a new task. After that, I asked him, okay, which models did you now use for these tasks? And then he said, oh, I just used my main model again. And then I said, why? And then he said, oh yeah, you're right. I should have actually used the settings we just set, but he just didn't do it. So, that was just very stupid. So yeah, you can do it, but it somehow needs to be bulletproof, and I haven't figured it out yet.
The bulletproof way, but that's what I'm saying. Like, and this also is I think that's what devs should start pivoting to. Like, dev teams, they should probably, the teams that used to build our software, they're not needed anymore, let's be frank, because we can build our own software now as founders, as CEOs, and so on. But what we need is people with very good technical understanding to build bulletproof AI setups, because that shouldn't be the job of the CEO again, right? Like, or the founders of a company, ideally. If you're a solo entrepreneur, sure, do it all yourself. You're a very lean setup. But if you're running a company and you have like a team with a few people, then just instruct your devs to build a bulletproof AI setup for you, and they'll do it, because like that's the new era of software, of developer agencies and so on. I think what they should do. That's a service that I would book. Like if I pay you monthly and you build me a bulletproof AI setup that's going to 10x my output in an extremely good way, then sure, like that's probably worth paying for. But it's not worth paying for an obsolete workflow, which is, hey, I want to build like the old way of doing things. Like, here's the requirements that I want for my product, hand this over. That needs to happen on an agentic level. But yeah, there's a lot of mixed feelings over hosting on virtual machines on a VPS. That's also another good topic. Cyber highlights here. You have to make you need to be kind of conscious about running something that is on a machine that you don't really control, where it might be a bit more difficult for you to shut things down, and then giving total access to that AI running on that machine to all your life, right? So this is where you need, if you want to really do it bulletproof, you need to have a setup where you whitelist certain functionalities and you say, okay, this AI agent running on this VPS can only read from my messages, right, and not write. Which, for example, is difficult because I think it doesn't exist for Telegram, for example. As soon as you connect your Telegram with a bot, it can read and write. I don't even know if it's possible to exclude the writing. I haven't figured that out. So that's dangerous because then
it cannot read. It cannot write.
I mean, maybe you don't want your agent to be able to text people on Telegram, but you want the agent to have full comprehensive understanding of what's happening. So, or maybe you want to whitelist only 5 chats, right? Where you say, okay, these are the people you can interact with, but don't you can't technically text anyone else. Again, for safety reasons, right? Because I don't care if the agent is able to text with Pierre because he's one of my trusted, humans in my circle. Whatever gets leaked to that human, I don't care, right? So that's a risk I'm prepared to take. But some stranger that wrote me a BD message, obviously, I don't want my Claude to be like, here's everything I know about Simon, and give him my full rundown on everything he knows about me. That's just a security. But
that's actually easy to set up, even with OpenClaw. You can, for example, if you edit to a group or even Discord, you just say that only messages from a specific user ID trigger the bot, or only messages from specific user IDs are able to run commands or extract information or whatever. And then even people say the bots are autonomous, like even Alex Finn. It's not that his OpenClaw instance is just running around wildly doing whatever. He's probably just running on a lot of cron jobs, basically triggers that make him do something on a schedule. It's not that the thing is just alive all the time. They still need some physical, someone needs to push them, right? So they do something. So what they do is they just use cron jobs. So that, for example, every morning he wakes up to a briefing from last night with messages, what was going on Twitter. It's not that the bot was just sitting there and doing that all night. It was doing it because there was a trigger coming from his schedule that told him to do it. It was just not him telling him every day to do it. And that's the thing, you don't need OpenClaw. You can do everything what OpenClaw can do if you have Claude Code on your terminal.
Right. Yeah, that's also a good point, I think.
Yeah. And it's like it's easier maybe with some stuff with the persistent memory, but even that you can set it up on your computer, and you have much more control. Because what I figured out with OpenClaw is, especially when you just run it on Telegram or Discord, you don't see what he's doing. You talk to him, and then sometimes maybe he starts coding, he starts doing whatever, and you're not yet finished explaining what you want to do, but he's already starting changing the code or whatever. So it's sometimes also very risky because you don't completely see what's happening in the background. And I played around with it myself, right? So what I did is I gave him a very specific task to create a workflow that completely automates the Solid Talk topic creation, even files and stuff, slides. I went out for dinner, I came back, and I checked what he did, and it was like half-assed. It was really half-assed. And then I tried to fix it with him, and even after like an hour or so, I was not able to properly make him understand what the problem is. You told him something, he changed it directly. Instead of making sure. That's why Claude Code has plan mode, right? OpenClaw only has a plan mode if you tell him to, hey, let's have a discussion first now. But sometimes he just runs away and starts coding, especially if you run him on Opus, because Opus is is very trigger friendly. If you don't make sure that you're in plan mode and you talk to him and you don't look for a second, he will run away and start coding and do stuff.
Yeah. So it's kind of a two-sided coin, really, right? Where you want the thing to be autonomous and alive as much as possible, so you don't have to watch it all the time. But you also need to have some guardrails and transparency to understand, okay, what the fuck is it actually doing, and what is it allowed to do?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what I'd like to, and it probably exists already, but I think another cool thing, might be even a content idea, would be like one very detailed document that includes links as well, that you can give to your fresh OpenClaw setup to improve his setup, like a setup document from all the best learnings and best practices that we collected so far in Reddit forums, in Twitter posts, in Twitter articles, like around the internet. There's so much material now, right? After 1 month of tinkering with OpenClaw, a lot of people figured out very smart setups, right? I don't want to do that setup myself. I want my OpenClaw to do that setup for me, but I also don't want to, put together this extensive document myself. So I think having such a document that is like, it's one MD file, and it contains all the links and best practices for your OpenClaw. You take it, you give it to a fresh instance, and he's just gonna be perfectly set up for you. And then obviously you have to do the custom things that you require for him, like giving some authentications and so on. That can't be in the Markdown, but that would be a good content piece. Like this one Twitter article, bam, you give him the link, and he'll understand what to do, and he'll be set up properly. I think that would be a cool thing. So if everyone wants to do that, go ahead. I think it's a good piece of content.
Yes.
Cool. Now let's a lot of AI talk. So this is definitely, since this is a very important topic these days, we want to help you guys to stay up to speed here as well. So even tuning in once a week to Solid Talk, I think helps you to kind of to get get an understanding of what's new and what are people doing. So that's definitely worth exploring. But since we're in a Solana ID talk here, we should also talk a little bit about Solana itself. So let's zoom out a bit and take a quick glance at the markets, and then we're going to do the NFT right after. So Pierre, you can already prepare that if you want. In the meantime, let me. Whoa, perfect. In the meantime, let's take a look what's happening here at the chart. So we're on my long-term chart for Solana. As you guys know, we've been going down a lot since a while now. So we've been trying to attempt a breakout here starting in the end of last year and into January. So January was kind of an up month where we saw a little bit of a recovery, but it was not strong. There were no strong like volume heavy moves to the upside here. It was a classic fourth wave that's kind of struggling to catch momentum, and it did not catch momentum. It was, neatly respected the upper boundary here of my Bollinger Bands, where it got rejected and then started to go down. And since then, we've been in a pretty steep way to the downside here. Basically, we saw a 50+% drawdown since then on Solana, which is definitely brutal, and it felt like that as well in the past couple of weeks, especially with that final wick here that pushed us below $70. Not pretty. But on the good side of things, we are now in an environment where we're starting to form lows that could be the low, right? Any low right now that performing could be the low of the cycle, because we're in the range here of kind of major resistances that started around $90. There's another major resistance at $60-ish that we could attempt. But right now we're seeing a bit more volume. We're seeing a little bit more in the past 2 days, especially. We saw a little bit of a attempt to break out to the upside again. And this looks to me like a valid attempt of destroying the short traders and reclaiming an upside move. We saw that movement start, especially, I think, here on the 13th of February. So that was literally yesterday after the CPI data was released. That was better than expected, at least slightly. So inflation data was okay. This kind of points towards a more an easier environment going forward in terms of interest rates and extra liquidity. I'm all about liquidity. I've been talking about it since a while. I think once liquidity returns to the markets, we're going to push up again. And I think it's going to happen at some point. The question is when. if this is the breakout, we need to observe this closer now, especially in the smaller time charts. We saw the first attempt here to form a 5-wave move. It could be counted as a 5-wave move already, starting here on the 12th of February with 1, 2, then we have an aggressive wave, that's a classical 3, then we have a fairly shallow wave 4, and a 5th wave to the upside. So now we get an A, B, C correction to the downside, and then we would need another 5 waves. So basically what I'm looking for now to confirm upside momentum would be some sort of little recovery attempt, right, with an overshooting B wave maybe, and another small C. So it would look like something like this in the micro count, right? I'm in the 15-minute chart now. And from here, from down here in that C wave bottom, let's say we'll touch again on this resistance here around the $84. And once we're here and we do another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, if this plays out, right, like if we can follow this line here, and we'll have some sort of wave count here in the middle, then this would be the point. The next 5-wave completion here would be the point of additional kind of probability increase for an upside move. So right now we're still in a dangerous environment because this is still a wave 4 scenario here. Like all this can be still a wave 4. This is I don't have it labeled right now, but this could be a 3rd wave. This could be a 4th wave. And right now the 4th wave is an A, B, and then a C, right? So we could see one more kind of attempt here to form one lower low and then stop down there. So these 3 cycle bottoms here can either be down here in another low, or they can be down here and we go up from here. So the more upside and wave confirmation we can get now, the more we can confirm that actually this is the bottom and we are returning. Right now we cannot say that for sure now, especially since there's like a strong resistance here in this blue field. This is like a pivot point, like a range, a directional change moment. So every time we're tapping in this area here, you can see that we're attempting a breakout and then get rejected. So we could see another attempt in that blue box here, and then make our way back again, a directional change from up to down. But as soon as we have an A, B, C, and then in the next 5-wave moves break through this blue area and we break through $91, then we're going to be chasing the new highs around $105 to $111, and then the upside move started. I think from there we'll see sideways, we'll see some liquidity being taken out, but the directional change has happened. Like as soon as we reclaimed the $105, I think we're in a new directional change to the upside, because the past weeks, since a long time actually, the direction has been down, right? That's been the trend. Whenever you traded long in this direction here, you did a counter trend trade, which is always dangerous. Once the trend is confirmed to the upside, you're actually trading, if you're longing, you're trading with the trend again, which is most times the better idea if you're not scalping and trying to catch smaller waves, right? Which is a strategy, but it's risky. So overall, it doesn't look too bad. I am not too concerned anymore. I'm back in the split screen. Welcome here. I think we're attempting recoveries, so it could be worse. It could be worse, the situation. At least since the CPI data came in yesterday, we have some upside momentum again on both the Bitcoin, which reclaimed the $70,000 mark, and also the Solana chart, which reclaimed the $85 mark. There will be some shakeouts, I think, in the next days, some sideways moves, maybe a little bit of downside, but I think the trend might be reversing to the upside. All my tokens in my TradingView panel right now are green again on the 24-hour change, which is nice to see because they've been red, deep red for a while now. So yeah, let's see where that's heading in the future. Might be good for all of us, not only for the major coins, but also alts might receive some liquidity again once the trend reversal has happened. Now, shall we show this week's Solid Talk NFT, Pierre?
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Alrighty. Then let's get it up here.
Yes.
And let's start the distribution process. If you are joining Solid Talks, you are eligible for a unique artwork for every single Solid Talk. So the collectible of this week's show is gonna be here in a moment. Once Pierre's ready. He looks confused right now, so I think we're getting there.
Yeah, I somehow I cannot edit to the stream. I don't know why.
Why not? Try doing. Where is it? Where is our Solid Talk NFT? Where is the Solidian?
Okay, now it worked. Oh no, never mind.
Here we go. Solid Talk number 76 on the 14th of February shows the minion fighting the bad boys.
Who's the minion? That's a minion?
Yeah, it's the minion hero. It's a small guy. We have
the minions are the yellow guys from fuck, what's the movie? From the Minions.
Yeah. The midget hero.
The midget hero, the mighty small.
The mighty midget.
The mighty midget, exactly.
And this is the mighty midget. If you want to get the mighty midget in his full beauty, then what do you have to do, Pierre?
Well, my friend, it is actually pretty easy. All you have to do these days is following the instructions that you can see on this slide. Either scan the code, go to talk.solana.id, or just go to Zealy as usual. You'll find a new quest called Solid Talk, #76 proof of attendance, and you will be asked to put a secret code in there, which is Cupid. I hope you all know why I chose Cupid. And also put your wallet address in there, and that's it.
That's it. As easy as this. I already completed the quest. Very straightforward. Talk.solana.id, guys. That's where you'll be able to get your mighty midget of today. Just use the secret code Cupid and plug in any of your wallets as a receiving wallet, and you will find that NFT very soon inside of your wallet. We're going to airdrop it to you. All you have to do is talk.solana.id or scan the QR code and finish the quest that is displayed on that screen. Very straightforward. And once you did that, you'll have another unique artwork and collectible that proves that you've been here in the bear market and that you attended the live streams in the bear market. Very straightforward. Perfect. All right, Solid Talk number 76. Go ahead, guys, do it now, because the quest is gonna close after the live stream, so it is for active participants. So make sure that you do it while you're here. Talk.solana.id and submit the quest. It takes probably 20 seconds for you to do that, and this is how you will receive the mighty midget of today. Beautiful. Because this is the midget, right? And then we have this is the big guy. This is the Solidian, right? So we have the big guy and we got the midget. It's the best terms I can come up with. Cool. Alrighty. Despicable Me was the movie, by the way. No, we'll just hide that again. I think that was the movie you were looking for when I talked about midgets. What's this in German? Unverbesserlich? Nee. What's it called?
Ah, yeah. Despicable Me or something?
Despicable. Here. Noble said it.
Oh, yeah, Despicable Me.
Yeah. I have no idea what that word means, but I guess it's the movie. Noise. Alrighty. Okay, we did our AI talk. We did our glance at the markets. Besides that, for the last segment here, just some personal updates, maybe on that front as well. We are chasing big opportunities these days, so we're looking for where the low-hanging fruits right now. Where's best to spend our time on? Of course, we can't tinker on AI all day long. We need to do shit and get shit done. And when it comes to Solana ID itself, we're using all the tech that we're doing to of course, use the agents to, ship new features much more quicker in the future. We're also using the tech that we're establishing here to create workflows that allow us to create much more impactful marketing campaigns for our customers. We're still launching a new campaign for our friends from Solflare that are going to run a big Solana ID campaign with us for their Solflare card. They just came back from Accelerate in Hong Kong with some huge Solflare news again. They had some stage time, and they, for example, announced that you can now spend any SPL token with your Solflare card. That's cool. So you can, whatever token you hold in your Solflare card wallet, you can spend. So it can be meme coins, it can be Solid, it can be USDC, it can be Solana. You can spend whatever you want. It will do your auto conversion for you, and you never need to transfer money again to any card app. You can just use fully custodial Solana wallets, which is beautiful. So definitely very good product, and we want to help them to get a bit more users for them. So that is another thing that we're tinkering on, a bigger growth campaign for Solflare. And then also, since Sol Brothers and Solana ID is very intertwined, right? We have our own little media brand with Sol Brothers that I've been running now since more than a year. We shipped more than 80 podcast episodes. We've grown our YouTube account a little bit. We've grown our Twitter account. And this year, since January, we started to be much more aggressive with experimenting and trying out new things to grow much quicker. And in that endeavor, I got together with the Sol Brothers core team in the past couple of days in Istanbul. I'm back now in Bulgaria, but I got together with the Sol Brothers core, and we worked on, well, fairly big things. Something huge is going to happen. I cannot disclose any details yet, but let me put it that way. It aligns a lot with my wishes for the ecosystem. I talked at the intro of today's Solid Talk about how I feel we need to strengthen the community and bring everyone together again. And I want to push for this with all the things I'm doing with Solana ID, with Sol Brothers, and we're going to create something that will hold the community together stronger than ever. And that is going to be a huge thing. I'm very bullish on it. But again, it is something that I can't disclose fully yet, but you'll see it on the timeline when the time is right. In the meantime, we're going to be tinkering on it, but it is very good news for Solana ID. It's very good news for Sol Brothers, and it's very good news for everyone who's in the community and working with us, and for the team itself as well. So huge things are about to happen. That is the only alpha I can give you guys. And big players are involved. And the first time you'll be able to officially hear from this is probably going to be in March. Until then, we're going to work on it, because this requires a lot of work. We have a to-do board of like 100 items right now, and that is not even exaggerated, to get what we're doing up to speed and realize our vision of it. And once it's out, you guys will understand why I'm so hyped about this. But that is just a little bit of alpha I can leak here. Cool. So that's something else as well that I've been doing last week. A lot of strategy and cooking huge things, as always. With that being said, I think what other things? Do we have other topics we need to double tap on here, Pierre, or are we going to run it down?
I think we're good. If nobody else has any questions, then I hope everyone still has some Valentine's plans. I hope you too. I hope you don't chill all day long in the shisha bar and let your poor girlfriend stay alone at home.
Now I'm gonna wrap up here in a moment. That's also why we're gonna wrap up now, because sure, Single and Lonely get Solid with us. We're gonna give you guys the time for that. But obviously, all of us, we also have private life. So if you are logged in today on screen, then stay there. That's totally fine. We have friends here on the internet, and we're with you. But please make sure that if you have people that depend on you as well, then show up and don't neglect them, and spend some quality time with these people as well. Both is totally fine. Don't be lonely. Don't be single. I mean, be single, but don't be lonely. We're all in this together. Let's see who we're going to pick for today's Comment Yourself a Solid special, because that is still the last item on the agenda that we need to wrap up here. So we're going to announce this week's Solid commenter right now between me and Pierre. Every single week, you're able to just participate in the chat and comment yourself Solid. So let me see which name I'm going to pull up today. We can obviously have recurring winners as well. That's totally fine. But we can also pick new ones, but it needs to be fair. So yeah, I think
Wait.
Yeah, I think I know.
Just hoping my power comes back. Noble, where are you?
I know where he is. I just spent a week with a person from the same country, and down there, it is normal that the water stops. It's normal that the electricity stops because your government sucks. I'm sorry for that, but use the time, use the moment, to spend some time with your cats and read a book or do something that you wouldn't do with power. I appreciate you hopping on the live stream though, and use the remaining battery you have to vibe with us here. Yeah, he's in the middle of nowhere.
Interesting.
Yeah, so that's literally like when we were in Istanbul, the water stopped running for like a few hours, and then my video guy, who's from Jayberg, was like, "Damn, it's like home." Like sometimes they just can't shower. They just go to their neighbors where the water is on a different raster, and they take a bucket of water home so they can flush the toilet and shit. It's just normal.
Yeah, we are very spoiled people, aren't we? I remember actually when I came to the Philippines first time, and every other day we had brownouts for like multiple hours, and I was freaking out. Where do I work now? I don't have Wi-Fi. What's with the stuff in the fridge? And everyone was just chill. And I couldn't understand why everyone could be chill, because
it's normal.
They just used to that's their life. And I was like, I can remember maybe 1 or 2 times in my whole life in Germany where we had a brownout, and then that was already a huge thing. That would be, oh my god, we have a brownout. What's going on? Our country is going nuts. Doesn't happen usually. Yeah.
Even here in Eastern Europe, which is not as developed as Western Europe, maybe. It never happens. Like there's always electricity, always water, like the simple basics of life you always have access to. And in these times, you really don't want to lose access to internet, especially if you're working in this industry. So it is, I understand why people are moving out of these countries. Or, as Noble says, find ways to make it work. So a lot of South Africans are actually putting up solar power and having their own fucking water system and shit, so they can independently keep running, which is, it's nice as well. It gives you a bit of sovereignty. I totally understand why you would do that. Anyway, with that being said, 3, 2, 1, and then we call out the commenter.
Yes,
I think it's clear for today. 3, 2, 1. Noble. Yeah, I think today Noble is the guy. Noble, you're gonna get your win. Thanks for showing up. Appreciate you, brother, and preaching the solid gospel as well. You commented yourself solid today, and we can't neglect that. You won before, so I think this might be your second, but definitely, how do you say, deserved. So woohoo! Yeah, Noble, you get it. Maybe that helps a little bit. When the electricity is out, at least you commented yourself solid and you vibe with us. So yeah, just make sure to remind us, ping us, so we don't forget about it. But I'm sure Cyber is going to help accommodate, and we're going to send you a little sign of appreciation by giving you a few solids. With that being said, congrats Noble, and congrats everyone else for being still around and staying solid in these difficult times. We stay solid no matter the lemons life throws. Beautiful. Ladies and gents, thank you a lot for tuning in to today's Solid Talk and spending some time with us. We appreciate you. I wish you a very good weekend, a good rest of your day. Enjoy the time, stay locked in, use the time you have right now to position yourselves accordingly. The bull market is going to return at some point, and it's going to be wild, it's going to be crazy, and you want to be positioned well. You don't have to have big money for this. You just have to be in a space with a bit of information alpha, the right people around you, and the willingness to do shit, and just be bold, right? And dare to do stuff, and be loud and talk about it. Don't hide in this market. I think that's what it comes down to. So stick around. We're going to see you again next week when it's time to get even more solid. Until then, I want you to stay solid, or even get a little bit more solid. We'll see you next week, same time, same space, for Solid Talk number 7777. See you then, guys. Peace out. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.